Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-aliyyil azim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma akhrajni min dhulumat al-wahm wa akramni bi nur al-fahm. Allahumma aftah alayna abwaab rahmatik wa anshur alayna khaza'in ulumik bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Aqaid al-Imamiyya, and we were discussing the rule of lutf, qa'idatul lutf. Although the heading was an nubuwwata lutfun, but in theological kalami books they talk about this as the rule of lutf, the rule of divine grace and favor. So we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided human beings with guidance in different ways. Guidance through intellect, guidance through conscience, but these are not enough. There is a need for more guidance. Someone that is able to tell us very clearly, decisively, what is to our interest, what is harmful, especially when human personal desires get on our way, makes things very clouded, very ambiguous, unclear. Even if you were able to understand in normal situation or about other people, when you yourself are involved, it's very difficult sometimes to understand what is right, what is not right, what is fair, what is not fair. So we reach this point. وأكثر ما تشتد حاجته إلى من يأخذ بيده إلى الخير والصلاح عندما تخاطعه العاطفة وتراوغه وكثيرا ما تفعل. The greatest need for someone to take hand of human being towards goodness and righteousness is when our own nafs is deceiving us, our own emotions, atifa emotions, get on our way and deceive us. And he says, وَكَثِيرًا مَا تَفْعَلْ. It's not rare, it's very common. فَتُزَيِّنُ لَهُ أَعْمَالَهُ وَتُحَسِّنُ لِنَفْسِهِ انْحِرَافَاتِهَا. These awatif, these desires of nafs, beautify for us our actions. The same action, if someone else does it, I say it's awful, but I do it and then I feel very happy about it. Or when we go to inhirafat, to deviations, it does tahsin, means says this is good. Is تريه ما هو حسن قبيحا أو ما هو قبيح حسنا. This shows us what is beautiful. Hasan means something which is good and beautiful. Shows us what is beautiful to be ugly, and what is ugly to be beautiful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Surah Jasiyah, verse 23, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَى وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ وَخَتَمَ عَلَىٰ سَمْعِهِ وَقَلْبِهِ وَجَعَلَ عَلَىٰ بَصَرِهِ غِشَاوَةً. Have you seen the one who has taken as his God his lust, his hawa, his lower desires, and this misguided him and course, although he says Allah misguided him, but indeed we explained many times that it's not that Allah misguides as a, for example, confused person misguided, in the sense that this is the result of his own action, and because of Tawheed Af'ali, we attribute it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَخَتَمَ عَلَى سَمْعِهِ وَقَلْبِهِ وَجَعَلَ عَلَى بَصَرِهِ غِشَاوَةً. And then it can reach the point that Allah would put a kind of cover, a kind of like curtain on the ear, on the eye, on the heart of such people, which is indeed their own insistence on wrongdoing and finally reaching the point that they are not able to understand. So these shahawat are different from your mental capacity, from your intelligence. You can be very, very intelligent, but these can make you unable to understand, or at least not to see clearly. Sometimes completely you cannot understand. This is a very famous saying, حُبُّ الشَّيْءِ يُعْمِي وَيُصِمُّ. If you love something, it can make you blind. It can make you unable to hear. So, تُحَسِّنُ لِنَفْسِهِ انْحِرَافَاتِهَا. It looks as something beautiful, makes it presented as a nice thing for our nafs. What? The deviation. So it makes the deviations look nice. إِذْ تُرِيهِ مَا هُوَ حَسَنٌ قَبِيحًا, shows what is beautiful ugly. وَمَا هُوَ قَبِيحٌ حَسَنٌ, what is ugly beautiful. وَتَلْبَسُ عَلَى الْعَقْلِ طَرِيقَهُ إِلَى الصَّلَاحِ وَالسَّعَادَةِ وَالنَّعِيمِ, and makes covered and unclear for aql the path of human being to righteousness, to felicity, to blessings. في وقت ليس له تلك المعرفة التي تميز له كل ما هو حسن ونافع وكل ما هو قبيح وضار. When we don't have that understanding of something that can help us distinguish between everything which is right and everything beneficial and everything which is bad and harmful. وكل واحد منها صريع لهذه المعركة من حيث يدري ولا يدري. And all of us are somehow victims, and our casualties are somehow, killed in this battle, from where we know or we don't know. So no one is immune, إلا من عصمه الله, except those that Allah protects them. إن النفس لأمارة بالسوء إلا ما رحم ربي. So no one should feel immune. We all need this type of support and guidance. Now we go to the next page. وَلَأَجْلَ هَذَا, because of this, it is difficult for civilized human beings, al-insan al-mutamaddin al-muthaqqaf, civilized cultural human beings that are today, let alone those human beings which were living with ignorance and not in a civilized manner. It's difficult for human beings. It has usr and difficulty for human beings. أن يصل بنفسه إلى جميع الطرق الخير والصلاح. And I think Sheikh Mudaffar is doing ihtiyat, and he says it's difficult. Otherwise, maybe we can say it's impossible to know all the path. We can know some of it, but to know all of it is impossible. I don't think there is anything in this world that we can say we know everything about it. So it's very difficult, or we can say it's impossible for human beings that by themselves reach all the path of goodness and righteousness and know everything that benefits or harms him in dunya, in the hereafter. فيما يتعلق بخاصة نفسه, can be something about himself personally, or بمجتمعه, or the community, the society. مهما تعاضد مع غيره من أبنائه, no matter how much he cooperates with other fellow human beings, ممن هو على شاكلته وتكاشف معهم, no matter how much he discusses with them, collaborates, people who are like him, and also no matter how many conferences, he takes part, gatherings, parliaments, counseling, because we are all, in the end of the day, we are all very limited in our understanding, in our experiences, especially about things that are happening in future, things that are happening in the other places of the world, things which is going to happen in the hereafter. So now, because of this need which we cannot ourselves meet, فَوَجَبَ أَنْ يَبْعَثَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى فِي النَّاسِ رَحْمَةً لَهُمْ وَلُطْفًا بِهِمْ رَسُولًا مِنْهُمْ. It is necessary. We don't say it is obligatory and compulsory for Allah. We say it's better to say it's necessary, as we will explain later. Wujub here means necessity. So it's necessary that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raises among people, out of His mercy for them and grace for them, a messenger. So if you are familiar with Arabic grammar, rahmatan here is maf'ul mutlaq, and or maf'ul li'ajlih, means because of mercy, because of Lord, and maf'ulun bih is rasulan, means that is the object. So Allah should raise among them a messenger from them, minhum. In Aqaid we have discussed this issue of minhum. So this messenger is from themselves. It's a human being, but also from the same nation that Allah is raising them. As Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail actually had prayed, وَبَعَثْ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِكَ رَسُولًا مِنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. If you remember, we said that Ibrahim and Ismail prayed, and 3 times Allah also refers to this as a statement that this has actually been accepted and done. He recites the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to people. He purifies them and teaches them the book and wisdom. وَيُنذِرُهُمْ عَمَّا فِيهِ فَسَادُهُمْ, gives them warning about what is going to corrupt them. وَيُبَشِّرُهُمْ بِمَا فِيهِ صَلَاحُهُمْ وَسَعَادَتُهُم, and gives them bishara, good news of what is going to be to their interest and helping with their happiness and felicity. Okay. وَإِنَّمَا كَانَ اللُّطْفُ مِنَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى وَاجِبًا, why it's necessary for Allah to provide us with this lutf, with this grace. فَلَأَنَّ اللُّطْفَ بِالْعِبَادِ مِنْ كَمَالِهِ الْمُطْلَقِ, because this favor, this grace that Allah has for His servants is part of, or is a requirement of, His absolute perfection. If you refer to your own, intellect and heart, both of them, suppose Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's absolute being has created us, would it be better, at least And you can say necessary. But at least wouldn't it be better if provides us who are created by him with guidance through the prophets and revelation, make things clear for us? Or it's better not to provide us with guidance and leave us to ourselves and to our aql? For sure it's better if we have such support. And anything which is better is necessary for him. Because for someone who is all knowledgeable, all powerful, and is all merciful, he does everything which is better for our guidance. If you remember in Ilmul Kalam, those of you who have studied Baba Hadi Ash and some other books on Aqaid, you know that Ulama'ul Kalam, they say Lutf is كل ما يقرب إلى الطاعة ويبعد عن المعصية ولا يبلغ حد الإلجاء ولا حظ له في التمكين فهو لطف. They have very clear definition of lutf. Everything that takes us nearer to obedience and takes us farther away from disobedience, from sins. But it's not a condition, because if it was a condition for this hidayah and guidance, it's necessary. Don't call it lutf. It's necessary. But anything that can help, لا حظ له في التمكين, means it's not a possibility, a condition for our mukna, for our ability. No. It's not that much necessary, which is a condition for our guidance, but it helps. It takes us closer to obedience and farther away from sins. ولا حظ له في التمكين ولا يبلغ إلى حد الإلجاء, and also doesn't force us. We don't want something that forces people to be good. Just helps them to be good. Still they can refuse, but it helps them. This is lutf, and it's necessary. So, Nubuwwah is lutf. Imama is lutf. Many things are lutf. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is absolute perfection and has absolute perfection, and lutf is one of the implications of that. هو اللطيف بعباده الجواد الكريم. He is latif بعباده. He has favor upon his servants. He has graciousness for them, and he is generous. He is honorable. فإذا كان المحل قابلا ومستعدا, this is the only concern. How much there is capacity in the receiver. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no issue with his treasures, with his resources. He's not going to run out of resources. He's not going to lose anything. The only thing is how much we can give. Our capacity is the main parameter, and the capacity of the whole world and the whole humanity, because we are not also in a gap. Sometimes maybe Allah can give me more, but people are not able to cope with this. Therefore, sometimes it's better if Allah has given you something, maybe sometime, not always, to keep it to yourself. Because if you share it with other people, it would make it more difficult for wise plans of Allah to continue, because they may become jealous, or they may feel very sad. Why Allah has given this person this much, why has not given us? Many problems can happen sometimes if we disclose everything, because we have some capacity and people around us have some capacity. Even sometimes the way enemies are going to react can limit. Lots of things are there. May Allah inshallah help us to be insightful and wise. فإذا كان المحل قابلا ومستعدا لفيض الجود واللطف فإنه تعالى لا بد أن يفيض لطفا. If mahal, if the receiver, the container, is capable and prepared for receiving this grace of generosity and favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah should send it. إذ لا بخل في ساحة رحمته ولا نقص في جوده وكرمه. There is no miserliness in Allah's mercy and no deficiency in His generosity. If you take a container, 1 gallon, and try to fill it under Niagara Falls, you can fill it. If you take 4 gallons, you can fill it. If you take 1,000 liter container, you can fill it. If you take 10,000 liter, you can fill it. There is enough water, more than enough. How much your container can take? That's the issue. وَلَيْسَ مَعْنَى الْوُجُوبِ هُنَا أَنَّ أَحَدًا يَأْمُرُهُ بِذَلِكَ. When we say it is wajib, al-lutf wajibun ala Allah ta'ala, it doesn't mean that someone is legislating, obligating this duty for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ليس معنى الوجوب هنا أن أحدا يأمره بذلك فيجب عليه أن يطيع تعالى and ذلك. So that Allah the Almighty has to obey. بل معنى الوجوب في ذلك هو كمعنى الوجوب في قولك إنه واجب الوجود. Wujub here is the same as when we say wajib. It means necessary. Necessary being, this is necessary. أي اللزوم واستحالة الانفكاك means this is necessary, cannot be separated from God. In the same way that essentials for everything are necessary. For example, for us, we are حيوان ناطق. So حيوانية is necessary for us. ناطقية is necessary for us. To be able to think or to talk, necessary for us. To be an animal is necessary for us. For sugar, sweetness is necessary. So these are essential. So when we say it's wajib, means if you reflect on his essence and the qualities that he has, you would yourself judge that this is necessary for him, not that someone forces him. Okay, alhamdulillah, we finished number 14. Now we start number 15. عقيدتنا في معجزة الأنبياء. What is our belief about miracles of the prophets? Prophets need to be accepted by people. People should trust them, believe in them as people who are sent by God and they have a mission from God for them. Therefore, there is a need to prove their mission. People who know them personally, they know that these people are very pious, honest, truthful. They have very good mental health. It's not that they are confused, because sometimes people lie, sometimes people don't lie, but they are mentally confused. They think they receive revelation, but they are indeed confused. Prophets, they have very sound personality, very clear history. So whoever knows them would accept. Someone like Lady Khadija salamullah alayha, she didn't need any proof from Rasulullah. She didn't need to see any mu'jiza from Rasulullah. As soon as she heard it from him, she accepted. Imam Ali didn't need any proof because they knew. Actually, it was expected that all people of Mecca, at least, would believe in the Prophet very quickly. Once the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked to some people of Mecca and said, if I say behind this mount there are enemies who are going to come and attack, would you believe? They said, yes. We have never heard any lie from you. He has lived 40 years among them and they have not heard even one lie from him. They have not even heard, one thing that would make them doubt his mental, health. He was very intelligent, very honest, very truthful, clear history. So Rasulullah said, if I tell you enemies are coming and they are behind the mountain and I warn you, would you accept? They said, yes, we have never heard any lie from you. Then he said, okay, I warn you about the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those who, for example, do mischief, whatever. So they should accept. But unfortunately, when it comes to changing your lifestyle, when it comes to changing your priorities, when it's demanding, then you start doubting. Although they knew Rasulullah, they shouldn't have doubted. Anyway, in order to leave no chance for anyone, near and far, familiar or stranger, Allah gives also mu'jiza to the prophets, miracles. These miracles are, in a sense, intellectual proof, because they see something, but they have to process it with their intellect. This is something that is extraordinary. This is something that no human being can do it. And it must be coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if Allah has given this person such power, and Allah would not want to deceive us, so this person must be right in his claim. So these are all intellectual steps to establish that this can only be done by Allah, and then to say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not want to misguide us. So if he has given this miraculous power to someone, it means that he is supporting him. Therefore, mutakallimun, theologians say a condition for miracle is that it should come with the claim, مع ادعاء النبوة. Because if he doesn't claim I'm a prophet, then you cannot make this argument that if he's a liar, Allah should stop him, because he's not lying. But if he says I am a prophet, then Allah would not give him miraculous power unless he is a liar, because Allah knows people would believe in him. So every action which is extraordinary, khariqul aada, and no one can do it, it comes with the challenge, with tahaddi, and with the claim of being prophet, this is mu'jiza. And our intellect says, okay, this person must be someone who is raised and appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, as we have said in aqaid classes, miracles of the prophets were suitable for their age. For example, in the time of Prophet Musa ala nabiyina wa alihi wa salam, magic was a big thing. So his type of mu'jiza was something suitable for that age. And this is why then the magicians first tried to challenge him, but then his miracle proved to be much, much higher than magic. Please listen very carefully. It was not just better than their magic, so that someone could say, this is a better magic. No. It was another level. It was not magic. And who understood this better than anyone else? Because if you are not familiar, maybe you say, okay, magicians can do it. Because we cannot do any magic, so we think that, okay, this is a type of magic, but higher. But those who were magicians, and the best magicians, they realized that this is not magic. It's another thing. In the time of Prophet Isa alayhi salam, medicine was very big thing. Ilm al-tib, medicine was very big thing. And miracles of Isa alayhi salam were something that could suit and relate to that time, but everyone realized that this is not a more advanced medicine. It's not a more advanced medicine. You know, now, for example, you go from one country to another country, you say, okay, these people, their medicine is more advanced. They have better treatments, better hospitals, better equipments, better, you know, I don't know, medicine, you know. It's better medicine. But Isa alayhi salam's miracles were not better medicine, more advanced medicine compared to the medicine of that time, or even any time. He was reviving the dead. Which doctor can do that, and which doctor would think that this is what can happen in the boundaries of medicine? So every miracle suited that time, but was something above what was available in that time. So they could see that this is from God. Khariqul Ada, extraordinary. And for our Prophet, the miracle was a matter of words, a speech. Because for Arabs, language was very important. They were very, very interested in language, very proud of their language, especially the oral, not that much written. They were very, much interested in speaking and listening, not that much in writing and reading. And they were so impressed by the language that they kept seven pieces, mu'allaqat, 7 pieces of poem inside Kaaba, hanging on the walls of Kaaba from inside. Very impressed with the language. Even it was a practice that those who were noble and well off, they used to send their children when they want to start talking Arabic to desert, away from city, because Mecca was visited by many foreigners, and the language of people of Mecca could be mixed with different accents and different kind of cultures and languages, imported words. They used to send their children to stay with the Bedouins in deserts so that they can have pure Arabic accent, Meccan accent. Even if they were not very educated people, those Bedouins were very, familiar with the culture of people of Mecca, but at least it was pure Arabic. So important for them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a miracle to the Prophet that in addition to having knowledge and wisdom and many, many things, scientific, but very much impressed those people, even from the linguistic point of view. Maybe for many of them, they didn't that much understand the other sides of the Quran, but the linguistic side was so impressive that they could not think of any way to stop people thinking that this is mu'jiza. They made some attempts to say this is magic. This is something that Rasulullah is taught by foreigners. They didn't have any way to justify. Just they tried to create some excuses to confuse some people, but no one listened to them. Then they said you should put cotton in your ear. So the mu'jiza of every prophet is something that's suitable at that time. But what is amazing is that because the mu'jiza of Rasulullah has to be the mu'jiza for final message of Allah and has to be available forever, to be of words made it actually something that could remain. We cannot see miracles of Jesus or Moses. We believe in them. We are 100% sure about them because we know through reliable sources, through the Quran, through the Hadith, through common heritage of Abrahamic faith. But I cannot see those miracles. I believe in them, but I cannot see them. I cannot experience them. Therefore, they don't add to my faith because already I know it through my faith. But Quran helps me with my faith because this mu'jiza is still available. And I can have the same experience that people in the time of the Prophet had. But no one can have the same experience that people in the time of Moses had or people in the time of Isa alayhi salam had. But we can have the same experience that the people in the time of the Prophet had. Actually, if we add to our knowledge, we can better appreciate the Quran today. Maybe we can never reach that point of being so impressed and understanding Arabic, although maybe we can. I'm not saying it's impossible because there are many people who mastered Arabic and they compiled books in Arabic. But maybe those people had very natural talent for Arabic. But when it comes to depths of the ideas, we are actually in a better position to appreciate the Quran. So now with this introduction, let us see what Sheikh Muzaffar rahmatullah alayh says. نعتقد أنه تعالى إذ ينسب لخلقه هاديا ورسولا لا بد أن يعرفهم بشخصه ويرشدهم إليه بالخصوص على وجه التعيين وذلك منحصر بأن ينسب على رسالته دليلا وحجة يقيمها لهم إتماما للطف واستكمالا للرحمة. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appoints for people a guide, a messenger, He should guide them to that person. Who is that person? It's not enough that He just appoints someone. He must tell people who is this person and they should be able to identify him. So He should show them and indicate and hint to that person particularly. And this is only possible by having a dalil, a sign, a hujjah, a proof for mission and message of this person, so that Allah would complete His favor and His mercy. So if He just appoints someone, His mercy is not yet complete, His favor is not complete. He should introduce them as well. Okay, that sign that we want, ذلك الدليل لابد أن يكون من نوع لا يصدر إلا من خالق الكائنات ومدبر الموجودات. That sign should be something that cannot happen except from the creator of things and the one who runs the world, all the beings. If it can be something that a human being also can do, then they can deceive people. It must be something that we know only Allah can provide this sign. أي فوق مستوى مقدور البشر, must be above the capacity of human beings. فيجريه على يدي ذلك الرسول الهادي. So Allah makes this mu'jiza happen on the hands of this person. ليكون معرفا به ومرشدا إليه. This would introduce him and guide towards him, that person. وذلك الدليل هو المسمى بالمعجز أو المعجزة. It comes from ajz. Ajz means incompetence, lack of ability. Because this makes people unable to bring something similar, we call it mu'jiza or mu'jiz. لأنه يكون على وجه يعجز البشر عن مجاراته والإتيان بمثله. Human beings are unable to resemble it and bring something similar to it. وكما أنه لا بد للنبي من معجزة يظهر بها للناس لإقامة الحجة عليهم
فلا بد أن تكون تلك المعجزة ظاهرة الإعجاز بين الناس اور يظهر بها للناس لإقامة الحجة عليهم فلا بد أن تكون تلك المعجزة ظاهرة الإعجاز بين الناس. In the same way that prophet should have a miracle, that with that prophet, that mu'jiza, the prophet yadhar emerges, mu'jiza also should be somehow something that emerges and it's clear and it's obvious to be mu'jiza among people, in the way that no one can say, okay, ulama can bring something like this. No, ulama should be ajiz. Ahlul Fan, people who are expert in that field, if it is medicine, if it is magic, whatever, it's words like poets, writers, speakers. Ulama, that fan, that discipline in that time should be ajiz, let alone ordinary people. Even not only people of that time, although he says fi waqtihi, but even people of other times. No one can do the mu'jiza of Isa even today. No one can do mu'jiza of Musa even today. But certainly in that time no one could do it, and still no one can do it because another level. ما اقتران تلك المعجزة بدعوى النبوة من. Also another condition is that it should come with the claim of being a prophet, as I explained. لتكون دليلا على مدعاه, so that it can be a reason, a proof for his claim, وحجة by, and a proof for him. فإذا عجز عنها أمثال أولئك, when those people are not able to bring something like this, علم أنها فوق مقدور البشر, it will be known that it is above the capacity of human beings. وخارقة للعادة, it is extraordinary. فيعلم أن صاحبها فوق مستوى البشر, so the one who has brought this mu'jiza is connected to someone who is above human being, because the real sahib, the real owner of mu'jiza is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is above human being, and this person receives power from someone who is above. بما له من ذلك الاتصال الروحي بمدبر الكائنات. This person has this power from above because he has a spiritual connection with مدبر الكائنات, the Lord, the manager of all the beings. وإذا تم ذلك لشخص من ظهور المعجز الخارق للعادة وادعى مع ذلك النبوة والرسالة يكون حينئذ موضعا لتصديق الناس بدعواه. If this completes for a person, what we mean by this, that he has a miracle which is extraordinary and he claims along with bringing miracle that I am a prophet, then this would be a place that people can affirm his claim and can believe in his mission. وَالْخُضُوء لِقَوْلِهِ وَأَمْرِهِ, they can be humble before his opinion and his command, his words. فَيُؤْمِنُ بِهِ مَنْ يُؤْمِنُ, so whoever wants to believe would believe. But if someone doesn't want to believe and wants to reject, he would reject. وَيَكْفُرُ بِهِ مَنْ يَكْفُرُ. So the truth is clear, then it's up to people, because Iman and Kufr are voluntary. Sometimes people, they know everything, they don't want to believe. ولأجل هذا وجدنا أن معجزة كل نبي تناسب ما يشتهر في عصره من العلوم والفنون. Mu'jiza, miracle of every prophet was suitable, munasib means suitable, with what was famous in that time, from disciplines and sciences like magic, like medicine. فكانت معجزة موسى عليه السلام هي العصا التي تلقف السحر وما يأفكون. The miracle of Musa alayhi salam was his stick which swallowed their magic. إذ كان السحر في عصره فنا شاد, was a very common and well spread, skill. فلما جاءت العصا بطل ما كانوا يعملون. When the stick came, all what they were doing was nullified. وعلموا أنها فوق مقدورهم. They realize this is above their capacity. وأعلى من فهم. It's higher than their skill. وإنها مما يعجز عن مثله البشر. And this is something that human beings cannot be doing something similar to it. ويتضاءل عندها الفن والعلم. Skills and sciences, when it comes to this mu'jiza, they are falling short and they cannot do like that. وكذلك كانت معجزة عيسى عليه السلام. The miracle of Isa عليه السلام was the same. What was his معجزة? إبراء الأكمه والأبرص وإحياء الموتى. He was able to heal people who were not able to see, people who had skin problems, people even who had died, he revived them. إذ جاءت في وقت كان فن الطب هو السائد بين الناس. Because Jesus came when medicine was very dominant discipline, very important. وفيه علماء وأطباء لهم المكانة العليا. Among people, doctors, physicians had highest position. فعجز علمهم عن مجاراة ما جاء به عيسى عليه السلام. Their knowledge fell short compared to what Isa brought. They could not bring something similar to what Isa عليه السلام brought. ومعجزة نبينا الخالدة means المعجزة الخالدة لنبينا. The eternal miracle of our prophet is Al-Quran al-Kareem, the glorious Quran. المعجزة ببلاغته وفصاحته في وقت كان فن البلاغة معروفا. Quran with its eloquence is mu'jiza. Everyone becomes incompetent, cannot bring something like Quran. In the time that fannul balagha, the discipline and the skill of speaking eloquently Arabic language was very well known, well spread. وَكَانَ الْبُلَغَاءُ هُمُ الْمُقَدَّمِينَ عِنْدَ النَّاسِ. The people who were very eloquent, they were very much preferred and put forward, very respected بحسن بيانهم وسمو فصاحتهم, because of their good expressions and high eloquence. فجاء القرآن كالصاعقة. Quran came like a thunder. أذلهم وأدحشهم, humiliated those who didn't want to accept and frightened them. أنهم لا قبل لهم به. They understood that there is no way to combat and to face the Quran. فخنعوا له محطعين عندما عجزوا عن مجاراته وقصروا عن اللحاق بغبار. So when they saw that they cannot reach even the dust of the Quran, like someone who is moving very fast and after he moves there are dust, this expression we say they cannot even reach his dust. They could not reach even the dust of the Quran, and they became very humble. Maybe they didn't express this, but inside they realized that they have to be humble before the Quran. And you remember the story I mentioned, the Quranic studies about 3 people who were commissioned to put something like Quran, and then each of them 1/3, and then they put together. But after 1 year, no one was able to proceed, and each of them mentioned the words that he came across and stuck them. وَيَدُلُّ عَلَىٰ عَجْزِهِمْ, and what indicates their incompetence is تَحَدَّاهُمْ. أَنَّهُ تَحَدَّاهُمْ. Quran challenged them. بِإِتْيَانِ عَشْرِ سُوَرٍ مِثْلِهِ. Bring 10 chapters like Quran. فَلَمْ يَقْدِرُوا. They couldn't. Then Quran said, bring 1 chapter like the Quran. فَنَكَسُوا. They couldn't. وَلَمَّا عَلِمْنَا عَجْزَهُمْ عَنْ مُجَارَاتِهِ مَعَ تَحَدِّيهِمْ لَهُمْ. Because mu'jiza comes with tahaddi, with challenge. So they couldn't bring something like Quran, although they were challenged to bring some Quran. عَلِمْنَا لُجُوءَهُمْ إِلَى الْمُقَاوَمَةِ بِالسَّنَانِ دُونَ اللِّسَانِ. And we realized that instead of fighting Quran with words, they use swords. If they were able to bring something like Quran It was easier for them. They were Arabs who were masters in Arabic language. Why they used swords, fights, battles, killing, torturing people? Because they couldn't defeat the Quran by this simple solution that the Quran gave them. If you don't believe in Quran, bring something like Quran, we close the file. علمنا أن القرآن من نوع المعجز. We realize that Quran is like mu'jizah. Even today, enemies of Islam, there are so many universities, institutions who are working against Islam. Okay, they can bring something like Quran, and then Quran is refuted by itself. علمنا أن القرآن من نوع المعجز. So we realize Quran is miracle. وقد جاء به محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Prophet brought this. مغرونا بدعوى الرسالة. He also claimed to be a prophet. So he has brought something extraordinary, challenged people. They couldn't bring something like it, and he claimed to be prophet. It must be then that Allah gave him this power. Otherwise, Allah would have, na'uzu billah, deceived people by giving this miraculous power to someone who is not honest. فَعَلِمْنَا أَنَّ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ جَاءَ بِالْحَقِّ وَصَدَقَ بِهِ. Rasulullah brought this truthfully and was honest that the Quran is from Allah. Sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Allah's salutations be upon the Prophet and his household. So alhamdulillah, we finished the discussion about mu'jiza. Inshallah, we will talk about isma, infallibility of the prophets. As I said in the beginning, this book is very important because it brings all major aspects of our aqidah together under one title, one book. So I hope inshallah you are able to listen all these lectures carefully so that you would have a sound understanding of your faith. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Thank you very much, Sheikh.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it. Unfortunately, we're running out of time for tonight as Ustad is in about 2 minutes out of time. So I'd like